Hey everyone, have you ever listened to a song and just felt something? Like, how does a song make you feel happy or sad or pumped up? Well, today we're going to crack that code. We're going to learn how to identify the building blocks of music, chords, just by using our ears.
So what is this secret code I'm talking about? It's all about chords. Seriously, chords are the building blocks of harmony. They're what give songs all their emotion, all their structure. And here's the cool part. Once you learn to actually hear them, you go from just listening to music to really understanding it. It's a total game changer.
All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with something you already know how to do, even if you've never thought about it before, and that's telling the difference between happy and sad sounds.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got major chords. These are the bright, sunny, feel-good sounds. You know, like the chorus of a massive pop song where everyone's jumping around. That's a major chord vibe. But then you've got minor chords. These sound totally different, more serious, maybe a little sad, or even kind of mysterious. Think about the music in a tense movie scene. That's probably a minor chord. And believe it or not, telling these two apart is the absolute first step. Now, this whole skill has a kind of official name. It's called ear training. And I know, that might sound a little intense, but don't worry, it's literally just a workout for your ears. It's like going to the gym, but for your hearing. The more you do it, the better you get at picking up on all these little musical details without even thinking about it.
So why do these chords sound so different? How does that even work? Well, to figure that out, we got to look at their recipe. Yeah, you can think of a chord like it's made of a few key ingredients.
So a basic chord, which is called a triad, has just 3 ingredients. First up, you've got the root. This is your foundation, the main note that gives the chord its name, like C or G. Then you've got the third. Now this one is the secret sauce. It's the emotional ingredient. This is the note that decides if the chord is going to sound happy or sad. And finally, there's the fifth. Think of this one as the anchor. It gives the chord a solid, stable feeling, just holding everything together.
Building a chord is really just a simple 1-2-3 process. Step 1, start with your home base, the root note. Step 2, add in that third to give it its emotional color, happy or sad. And step 3, add the fifth to finish it off, making it sound strong and complete. That's it.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The huge difference between a happy sound and a sad sound. It all comes down to a tiny bit of math. For a happy major chord, that emotional third note is exactly 4 half steps up from the root. So what's a half step? It's just the very next key on a piano, black or white. That specific distance of 4 half steps is what our brain automatically hears as bright and positive. Kind of weird, right?
And get this, to change that entire mood from happy to sad, all you do is move that one note down by a single half step. So now the third is just 3 half steps from the root. That's it. That tiny, tiny change flips the whole emotional switch. It's pretty amazing how much power is packed into just one little note.
So what about our third ingredient, the fifth? Well, that one's our rock. It's super stable. Whether the chord is major or minor, that perfect fifth is almost always exactly 7 half steps up from the root. It just hangs out there, being the anchor and holding the whole sound together.
Okay, so we've got our 3 ingredients, but what happens if you mix them up? What if you change the order? This is a really cool trick musicians use constantly to keep things sounding fresh.
This little trick is called a chord inversion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You take the same 3 notes, the root, the third, and the fifth, but you just restack them in a different order. So instead of the root being the lowest note you hear, maybe it's the third or the fifth. It's still the same chord, it just has a slightly different flavor.
Yeah, a really easy way to think about it is like a stack of Legos. You've got a red, a blue, and a yellow block. It doesn't matter what order you stack them in, red, blue, yellow, or blue, yellow, red, you still have the same 3 blocks. That's exactly what's going on with a chord inversion.
Okay, theory is cool and all, but how does this actually show up in the songs you listen to every day? Well, chords almost never just hang out by themselves. They work together in patterns.
And that sequence of chords has a name too. It's called a chord progression. The best way to think about it is like a sentence. Individual notes are like letters, chords are like words, and a chord progression is the whole sentence. It tells the story of the song. And what's wild is that most songs you love probably use the same few super common sentences.
Okay, so here is one of the most common progressions of all time. I mean, you've heard this in literally thousands of songs, from pop to rock to blues. It's built on 3 chords from a scale, the first, the fourth, and the fifth. We just call them the I,
the IV and the V. Think of it like this. The I chord is home. It feels settled. The IV chord is like taking a little trip away from home. And the V chord? That one builds up all this tension, like you're getting ready for the big return. It makes you crave hearing that I chord again. Once you learn to hear that home, away, tension, home pattern, you'll hear it everywhere, I promise.
All right, one more quick thing you'll definitely hear in music. Sometimes, instead of playing all the notes of a chord at the exact same time, strum, a musician will play them one at a time. Plink, plunk, plunk. That's called an arpeggio, or a broken chord. And for someone just starting out, this is awesome, because it's way easier to identify the chord when you can hear each ingredient, each note, one by one.
Okay, so that's the theory behind it all. But how do you actually get good at hearing this stuff? Well, just like anything else, it takes practice. It's time for your daily ear workout.
So here are a few quick tips to get you going. For real, just a few minutes every single day is way better than trying to cram for an hour once a week. You can use a real instrument like a piano or a guitar, or hey, there are tons of free apps for this. Make sure you're in a quiet place so you can really hear what's going on. Oh, and here's a huge one, sing the notes. I'm serious. It creates this super strong connection between your voice and your ear. And look, the most important thing is don't get frustrated. Your brain just needs some time to build these new pathways. You'll get it.
Want a secret weapon that musicians have used for centuries? It's called solfege. You know, like do-re-mi? It's super powerful for this. A happy major chord is just do-mi-sol. And a sad minor chord, you just change that middle sound slightly to do-mi-sol. If you practice singing those two little patterns, you're basically creating a mental map of the sounds. It makes recognizing them way, way easier.
And there you have it. You now have the basic tools to start cracking the musical code. So the next time you put on your headphones, really listen. Try to hear it. Is that a happy major chord? A sad minor one? Can you hear a pattern? The whole world of music just opened up a little bit more for you. So, my question is, what song are you going to decode first?